like. How have you been? How are you feeling?
I'm good. How are you?
I always ask that about everybody because I think it's just important to ask, how are you? So I did want to do like an interesting little segment, like random cues, like ask you about your work, but also ask you about who you are. So
Yeah, of
like
course.
kind of range from questions like do you believe in aliens and things like that? Would you be down?
Sure.
Well, actually, let's start with that because that was a very interesting topic for me and my friends. Do you believe in aliens? Do you believe that there's beyond this world?
I mean, there's definitely beyond this world. I just don't think it's in the kind of movie blockbuster way that people kind of portray it. But I think that there is definitely another form of life. Yes.
It's a little more subtle. It's a little more cool headed. I wonder if they watch us, though. That's the big question. Are they maybe watching us like we're real housewives and just said, no, we're never going there?
Right. I mean, there's the reports of kind of, I don't know, like sound waves and kind of some form of communication. So I think that, yeah, in some way, yes.
What would you tell them if you could? Take me?
That I am so sweet and just want to be friends.
Yeah, I just want to hang out. I just want to hang out. Well, it's funny because, and this is what I want to do. I want to intersplice questions about your work along with random questions. And one thing that question that I had set up in terms of your work was this kind of isolation and
Mm.
this level of like kind of going hermit mode just to discover who you are. Do you think that's necessary? Like kind of cutting off the world for a bit to see how you fit in it?
I think for me, yes, like especially kind of with this project and then with yeah, I've definitely learned a lot this year and I think it's brought like a lot of uncomfortable emotions, I would say, but I think ultimately it's necessary to kind of take a step back in that way because I don't know, there's times where I would just kind of fill the space with things that I love and I think that that's always a beautiful thing like with people and kind of um, just activities where I'm surrounded and kind of numbed to exploring myself a little bit more. So, kind of opening up that has been a very interesting.
Kind of like simple, small acts that make you grateful a little bit.
Right. Hmm.
Well, I asked one artist this, and she was kind of like really surprised by her own answers. And it's if you could send a thank you note to yourself, what would you thank you about? What would you write in it? In like two or three lines.
Mm. I think I would thank myself for giving myself that space and believing in myself because I think that this year kind of brought a lot of, I don't know, I had like a lot of medical issues, but to the point where no one was really believing them. And I think that that's like a big thing with women's health. So I think a lot of it was, I don't know, me knowing that there was something going on and me believing that despite a lot of people telling me otherwise. So I think that, and that kind of
Love
applies in a
that.
lot of different ways, but overarching, I think that that is kind of what I would
I,
say.
I did the one finger clap because I really do think, like in everything, trusting you.
Mm,
Minute, I don't think enough people trust themselves. And when you do that, there's such a strength and freedom born within you that is so admirable and like
yeah,
almost relieving because I think we're obsessed with keeping everybody's trust
of
and never
course,
handing it to ourselves.
of
So
course, yeah.
snaps. Um, if you could compare life to a board game, which one would it be?
Clue.
Why? What of all the ones I expected? There's even a game called Life. Wait, why Clue?
I don't know. I think it's just like a constant, even though it's not like you're figuring out a murder, you're kind of piecing together things. And I think that life is filled with piecing together. And I don't know, I've always loved that game so much. And I think that it's such just like a fun kind of mind fuck in a way. And I think that that is kind of what I experience on a day to day, like decoding, a lot of decoding.
Ooh, you know what? And I'm going to add a layer of existentialism. It's
Mm,
always piecing together how you feel people took from you. Like who took the candlestick, who like life. It is a little cluey. Like there's a darkness and a funness to that game all at once.
Yes, I think so.
Oh, that was a good answer. Okay, and now we're really gonna make a leap because like some of the songs that that you've released already, they really are about sexual exploration. And I'm curious, what is a misconception about sex that you felt ingrained in you
Mm,
that you like adulthood kind of been like, no, that's not the truth. That is not the truth, hon.
right. I mean, I think that it's just expectation on its own. Like I think sex should be something that's kind of so free and explorative, and I think that a lot of people put a lot of kind of not necessarily rules within it, but I think expectation maybe more so. Like in this scenario, you have to behave like this, or this is kind of how you should act in this situation. And
Hmm.
I think that placing rules on something that should be just very natural and very, I don't know, you kind of have to listen to yourself a lot more than I think that it's kind of framed in our society.
Ooh, yeah. Well, it goes back to that theme of trust. We're
Yes.
all these rules just make you not trust you. Trust what you want, trust that you can get it, trust that you can ask for it, trust
Right.
protect it. Ooh.
Mm,
And I like the, in reading about you, one thing that came out a lot was the word want. Well, I
mm,
mean, it's an association to hunger, but it's that idea of I do want more and I'm not guilty about it. So I wanted to play a little game called Want More. And
sure.
I'm going to ask you what you want more of, say, in films, what you want more in food, what you want more in sex. Like, and let's start. So what do you want more in movies? What do you want more of?
I mean, I think that it's just kind of honest character representation. I think that, I don't know, like a lot, I watched this kind of documentary on trans representation in film. And I think that a lot of people, kind of these, I guess, like straight heteronormative men are portraying trans characters. And I don't think that, I don't know, there's so many talented trans people, I think, all around us. And I think that that should be given to someone who has actually lived that experience as
Yeah.
opposed to just playing the role. And I think that just applies to so many different things in film. Like, I don't know, I guess, yeah, honest representation of people that have maybe actually lived those truths and kind of deserve a platform in that way.
And to add to that, I always feel like the interpretation of inclusivity is creating a character with no personality.
Fully. Yeah.
Like they're just not, there's no like what they're supposed to be funny, but they're not
Mm,
supposed to
mm,
be, um, F the system. And you're like, I don't even think you'd light a candle. You're not,
right. Yes.
there's just no depth to them. They're just like, I'm included. So I
Yeah,
love
fully.
that answer for sure, for sure. What would you want more in food?
mm, I would love for the prices to go down.
I want more cheap, healthy food.
Cheap, healthy food, and I don't know. I think that I've being in LA and kind of spending time in bigger cities, like you do find the kind of hole in the walls where it's incredible food, but I think that there is this kind of layer of, I don't know, they make it very appealing and very kind of she in a lot of places when really it's just not. I don't know, like it's good food, yes, but I think that, yeah, bring that down.
Yeah, bring that.
Bring
We're
that
just human
down.
beings. I was watching a TikTok and they were like, it's so crazy that we're like on a floating rock in a galaxy and we all have to pay bills. Like, who invented that? Like, when you think of the universe and how we dim things down to like
Right.
applications, bills, it's like, whoa, we really do kill our cosmic.
Mm.
What would you want more in LA?
Um, I mean, I'm ready to leave it so it can do whatever it wants.
You're like, I want more exiting. I want
Yeah.
more leaving this hole. How was your LA experience? Because LA is such a complicated place for artists.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely enjoyed it, and I think that it was very good for kind of what I needed to kind of get moving, I guess, in a way. Because I moved like very mid-pandemic, so I've been here about 3 years. Um, but I don't necessarily make music here, and I think that that's the one reason why I did move here. But I find myself going to the UK or somewhere else. So I kind of think that yeah, it's nice for kind of I met like a lot of really great people and great collaborators. I think more on the creative side of like the visual aspect. So I think that it was great for that. But ultimately, I make music elsewhere, and that's kind of what LA's for artists. So I think that it's my time to go.
I love that. And I think that's a true discovery because I think as artists, we're always told collaborate, meet, introduce. And some of the best artists just did it on their own. Like they had to be hermit mode. And
Mm,
that is as valuable as collaborating too, as well. So
right.
claps, claps, claps. My question, next question for you is if you could make a children's story out of your life, what would
Mm.
be two themes and what kind of character? Will they be like a bunny rabbit? Will they be like a floating sock going to school every day? What what would be the concept?
I mean, I've always loved boars, so I think that I'd be a boar in it. And there's that whole thing of like the rampant boar infestation. So I think that what I would want to be portrayed is that they are really just kind of doing their own thing and they shouldn't. I mean, I guess they are bothering people in a way, but kind of telling their side of the story and not as this like big scary beast, but just as something that's kind of trying to survive given the land that they're provided with, just like we are.
Oh, I like that. Oh my God, my dog just had a random loud toy. Wants attention. That's interesting because that leads to one of my questions about your work, which is I felt like it was a journey on trying to I it's portrayed as a journey of self-acceptance, but it felt like it was more a journey of like nobody's gonna accept me. Do you think that there's
Mhm.
the same? Like the more you accept you, the more you accept others don't. Like they're both literally the same process.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe it's less that others don't accept. I think it's more just about reframing it, whereas you kind of don't care if they do or not. And I think that it's a level of just kind of acceptance with yourself, kind of removes that pressure of wanting to kind of please others and wanting to do things for others. Because I think the more you understand that yourself, the more you kind of realize what you need. Um, so yeah, I think it's more that I don't feel like nobody understands me. I think that it's more just I don't care if they do or not.
I think it's not that for me, and at least as somebody listening and to your work, it feels like it's not that nobody understands you. It's that you kind of grow out of this concept that the world will, like the world
Yeah.
is a lot of people, and if you get like
Mm.
five people that understand you, even if you're Harry Styles famous, you're
Right,
lucky because
right.
it's everybody's running on images, and I think that's what I felt with your work. It's about unpacking the fact that you've been raised amidst images.
Mm, mm,
Yeah.
yeah, that's very true. It is like a lot of unpacking. I think like with hunger, it's kind of unpacking the images that you're given kind of in how do you behave in that setting. And then with milk as well too, it's kind of having that I don't know, that I feel like in childhood you don't feel that as much, and then that's kind of broken down a little bit more. You feel that pressure a little bit more as you get older. So it's wanting to return to that kind of not caring as much.
I dig that. I did that. And that leads to my next question. If you were a flavored milk, which would you be?
I had chocolate I had chocolate milk recently. Like I got it at a diner and I feel like I hadn't done that in so long and I really do love chocolate milk. I think there's just like a beautiful density to it. Um, Yeah, and it's sweet and creamy and lovely, so I think that maybe I'm that milk, but I don't know. I don't really like strawberries, so I wouldn't wanna give that to myself.
Ooh, you know what's actually good? Mango milk. That might
I've
sound
never had.
disgusting, but it's so interesting that you said that because I do feel like there are elements of our childhood that like
Mm,
sometimes pop in and we're like, why did I let that go? Like, why did
right.
I stop ordering chocolate milk? Why did I
Mhm.
stop listening to that artist? Is there beyond chocolate milk, is there something that always pops in back from your childhood that you're like, why do I let that go? That gives me so much pleasure.
I mean, I wanted to get it across in the video I made for Milk as well, but just kind of getting really dirty. Like I think I remember so many memories of just coming back into the house just so filthy and having to hop in the shower. Um, and I kind of miss that because it's like you'll always have the opportunity to become clean again, but I think that it's important to kind of be willing to get a little bit messy.
Oh, I love
It
that.
always feels so good. It feels so good.
That is such a lovely, lovely answer. So, when you think about your debut, what are three aspects of your personality you definitely want to shine via, like, I want people to walk away knowing these three things about me.
Right. I mean, I think a big part of it is definitely honesty. I think this is probably my most honest record. Um, I always viewed it as kind of like an introduction um, to really who I am. So I would say honesty. I hope that it comes across as brave. I think that that's like a big thing that I would want. And that I feel like I was brave writing this record. So I hope that kind of comes across. But yeah, honesty and bravery, I think I would say that.
Honesty, bravery. All right. So, if you could ship away personality traits that you don't like, put it in a box and send it in a cargo ship to hell, what would
Mm.
be those little personality traits or pet peeves that you're just like, I'm going to pack this like a shirt and send it away from others?
Oh, from others or
Yeah,
not?
like
Not so
just don't
not myself.
expect you. No.
Okay. Mm. I would say judgment, definitely. I think that I'm really drawn to very shameless people, and I think that sometimes those people aren't met with the same kind of acceptance a lot of the time. Um, so yeah, I think that judgment's just kind of a ridiculous thing, and you should just worry about yourself.
Ooh, and what would you pack with you to, let's say, that typical question, what would you pack with you to a remote island?
And this is a personality trait, or this is
Or
just
this could
something.
be anything, actually. This we're going to open up.
Okay, what would I pack? Mm,
Hmm.
clay and friends.
Ooh, oh my God, you could do a clay class with your friends in a remote island. I love
Doesn't
that.
sound, it's not very, very smart, but that's what I would like to do. Depends on how long I'm there, you know?
I know. I always feel like those questions, you want to ask more details, but you're not allowed. You're like, well, does
Of
this
course.
remote island have food? Should I
Yeah,
pack for
what
cheeses?
is the framework of this
You're like, what
situation?
is it? They're always so, I always find that question and the one about like, which would those, like, how would you rather die questions? I think they're so,
Mm,
like, why are we on this topic?
of course.
like when someone brings it up, you're like, I don't know. Why are we're at a bar. This is so weird. Why are you getting trim?
Yes.
But yeah. And going on to like my next cue. Oh my God, I totally oh, that's why. So every time, like right around the end of the interview, because we've done like around 10 questions, I always like to pull like oracle cards, like of positivity, sending messages. Would you like me to pull for you?
I'd love that, yeah.
Yay, yay, yay. Ooh. Are you moving to London, by the way?
Potentially. A lot of my friends are going to New York, so I've kind of thought about that, but I don't know. Since I'll be gone a lot of next year, I'm kind of thinking of just giving up my place and staying in a few different places for the year.
Ooh, is there a place that you dream of in terms of travel?
I really want to go to Budapest. I've never been to Budapest before. Um, and yeah, yeah,
An
Budapest.
album called Budapest would be awesome.
Mm.
It's just like jotting down all your, is there ever like, is there a movie or a book that you really wish you could transfer into an album?
Mm. I mean, the first thing on my mind is because I haven't watched the third yet, but I had never watched Before Sunrise before, and that
Mm.
whole trilogy. I think that would be a really beautiful one because it is such just like it's so embedded in kind of conversation and it's quite simple, but I think that it's really, really stunning.
Ooh, I like that. And that's all about, I like the theme of that album would be really cool because it's about how you transform and keep on finding like this person.
Mm. Mm.
and they're a measure of how much you change. Oh,
Yeah.
I like that. Oh, that's good. So you got full moon in Aries, cool your emotions. Full moon is all about releasing. Aries is very passionate. So it's about kind of not letting the dark side of Aries, which is that it gets angry, that it gets irritable, that it gets frustrated, kind of overwhelmed. The good side of being an Aries, which is that it's passionate, it's go-getter, it's very focused on what it wants. So cool your
Mm.
emotions basically means don't let the dark emotions overcrowd the positive ones. Check yourself in essence.
Okay. I love
You
that.
got first quarter moon in Capricorn, unleash your kind of self. Capricorn is all about building. First quarter moon is about the beginning of building. And often people aren't kind to themselves when they're starting something. And that's when you
Mm.
most need to be kind, most be forgiving. So it seems like you're going in a having a 2024 of a lot of new journeys. So what this is saying is remember to give yourself grace. You can't know what you don't know.
Right.
And last quarter moon in Cancer, take a breather. So, I mean, right now, this is December is always a month of gathering, kind of doing a little review of your life, of your choices.
Mm.
And what this means is, breathe and rest because what you have, if, first quarter moon in Capricorn is right, you're about to enter a lot of new journeys. So, really, do that little gratitude list, kind of rest. Don't be so anticipatory because good things are coming. And to get them, you have to kind of just be like really, really chill.
Right. Lovely.
Yay! I love positivity. Well, yeah, we've done like 20 minutes of this interview. I know I'm only supposed to have you 15 to 20 minutes, but this was
Oh,
absolutely lovely.
this was lovely.
Well, I get
I
to know.
loved your questions.
Yay! Yeah, well, I was watching an interview with Tyler the Creator and
Mm.
was talking about like how as an artist it's really hard sometimes doing these interviews because they could be so basic and they could either
Right.
be too serious or just or there's a feeling they're never silly enough. And I want to
Mm.
do both because I could get deep, Lord
Of
knows,
course.
like existential over Clue. But
Yeah.
I also feel like, people do want to laugh. They want to get deep, but they want to get light, and they both matter. So I really enjoyed this with you.
It was lovely. I appreciate
Yay! Thank you so much. Lovely meeting you and have a
you.
great day. And I hope you have a great 2024.
Yes, you as well. You as
Yeah.
well.
See you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.